Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, and King Dio. Those of you who have seen my reactions to the Nintendo Switch Direct have seen that one of the things I was most hyped about in regards to the in regards to the show was the announcement of an Actraiser remake. Not only that it was being remade, but that it was available right now. And that was actually the first thing I did once the Direct was over and the story updated. Actually, I wanted to do it while the show was still airing. I was so hyped. I immediately put up the $30, paid for Actraiser Actraiser Renaissance, and was somewhat underwhelmed. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because the game did look kind of cheap. It did look kind of wonky. And it doesn't, I don't want to say it disrespects the source material, because it does kind of feel like they were legitimately trying to build off the original Actraiser, but the game seriously suffers from slowdown, from gameplay problems, from poor balancing, poor changes to the design, to the UI, to the terrible art, to the mechanics, to the pacing. It feels like this isn't the remake of Actraiser that we could have gotten. And that is very, very disappointing. But at the same time, it does feel like they really did try to grow and expand the experience in spite of its limitations, right? It does feel like they tried to do more with the city building aspect in particular. It does feel like they tried to make give the game a bit more personality, a bit more character, giving it a more of a plot. They're trying to really try to emphasize the themes a little bit more. I do appreciate that. I do think that that was the same thing I would have done. It's focus on improving the map sections. Really get to establish these NPCs, establish developing the cities, have more of a focus on the city building aspect. But it didn't do them well. It didn't do it the way it should have. It could have really, really built off of the original. It really could have done a lot of things with it. But instead we get this kind of cheap update that really, when you get right down to it, the only reason you would play this remake is if you're such a fan of the original that you've gone through it a million times and just need something with more content in it. And that's kind of how I look at this. If you've never played Actraiser before, my recommendation, play the original. If you love it, if you do everything in it, and it really doesn't take long to do everything in that game, it's 3 hours long. If you do everything in Actraiser, then you can move on to Renaissance and get to experience the additional expanded content. And if you love the original Actraiser, like I do, you will appreciate what they try to do with this. In spite of its limitations, in spite of its shortcomings, it does feel like the developers tried. They really did try to recapture the soul of the original. It is a game where you're playing as God, building up these civilizations, salvation, bringing salvation to your people, and they really do just do try to build up that theme with its characters and stuff like that. It actually ties into the original surprisingly well with the general play out of the plot. In fact, there's a really interesting aspect to this. It kind of has this JRPG feel to it. The original wasn't really a JRPG, but it kind of has this weird JRPG tone to it, where you are the god going around finding your chosen heroes to form your JRPG party to take down Tanzra or whatever. That's interesting to me. That's something that wasn't in the original at all. But it feels like one of those things where yeah, you know what, they really could have made this interesting. In fact, it is interesting. The game is so fun in spite of not nearly being on par with the legendary original. And yeah, I do wish it was as good as the original. But I don't know. Sometimes Square Enix should have put more money into this. They should have given it a bigger budget. They should have done more with this. Give it a real sequel. Please make a real Actraiser sequel if this does well. I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I am enjoying my time with it. Like, it is an enjoyable little game. If you don't have access to Actraiser, play the original. Like, I would say, like, seek out the original. But if you are a fan, this is well worth your time.